The Chelsea news show goes on! What's happening, friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you are all doing well today. Really do hope that. Namaste, willkommen, bienvenue. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I go across the media, see what's being said about the Blues, giving you my opinion, but more importantly, asking for yours. New contracts coming out of our running back side. That's right, Olivier Giroud, Thomas Tuchel, Thiago Silva. We wave goodbye to the likes of Willy Caballero. I'm going to talk about the new contracts, all three of them, and the implications of Olivier Giroud, because I think it's likely we're not keeping him. Smart move from Chelsea though, but still, it's going to mean we need a striker. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Hey, only if you want to keep up with the daily news. Hit the bell notifications icon. In that case, you're welcome to drop a like to show your loving support. And feel free to click the link in the description to go check out my sister channel, Football Yannick, where I talk all things football. Go check that out. Alright then, let's get into it. Cool, so I'm going to be citing an article a little bit later in the video talking about what's going on with Olivier Giroud, because starting off with him briefly, Chelsea have triggered part of his contract where they can basically get an extra year's extension. So I didn't know about it. To be honest, many people, football fans and football pundits, people in media, didn't really know about this clause in his contract that Chelsea could trigger and get another year. I think probably this would frustrate Giroud. Because Olivier Giroud knows he's probably done out here. Should he go on a free, he'd get a better deal at his next club. So he's probably feeling a little bit frustrated that Chelsea have done that. Speculation, of course, me saying this, but that's what I assume. Because now he has to be bought, and that's less money going into his salary package, probably. But at the same time, Olivier Giroud has had a really good time at Chelsea. Chelsea came and got him from Arsenal when he wasn't, he was out of favour. You had Lacazette there. I think maybe Aubameyang was there, already as well, I think. Anyway, there's loads of strikers they weren't using Giroud. He comes to Chelsea, and, in and out, on and off, he's a bit of a cult hero. And I really mean that. I think he cost £18 million, won 8, and he's won the FA Cup, the Europa League. He obviously went off and won the World Cup for France. Not for Chelsea, but he did that in the same sort of time when he was playing for Chelsea. And he's won the Champions League now as well. And he really has won it. He's not one of these players that just didn't play throughout the campaign at all. Yes, he didn't play in the final, but he was vital in the Champions League run. Scored 4 goals away at Sevilla, a perfect hat-trick and a penalty. That's in his history for life. He scores an overhead kick against Atletico Madrid. Olivier Giroud, have it right, was vital in Chelsea's Champions League win, so he very much has won the Champions League. So he's had an excellent time at Chelsea Football Club, Olivier Giroud. And therefore, I reckon he's pretty thankful for his time here at Chelsea. So we'll come back to him and talk about the implications of perhaps him going, where he would go, and what Chelsea are going to do for strikers a little bit later in the video. But let's move on and talk about Thiago Silva. So yeah, shock, horror, Chelsea have triggered the clause in Thiago Silva's contract to see him stay at Stamford Bridge another season. I think everyone involved is pretty happy about this, and although his wife Belle Silva joked about how she would have preferred 2 or 3 years, but she's still elated and very happy with his extension, the truth is he is going to be 37 next season, and that's incredible, really, how Chelsea have given a 37-year-old a contract. But the truth is, of course, this is no regular player. This is Thiago Silva, and he's in incredible shape. At times, he looks more like a 26-year-old than a 36-year-old. So it's really good that his contract's been triggered for another season. I can't imagine he's on astronomical wages, but I think he loves it at Chelsea. I think he's fine, he's elated and relieved that he's finally won the Champions League. Yes, he came off, but similar story to, Giroud and Kovacic and stuff. They were all vital in the run. So he has finally in his career won the Champions League, and he has Chelsea to thank for that, and Thomas Tuchel, and indeed Lampard for bringing him to Chelsea. So he'll be very, very happy, and hopefully that will see him to the World Cup to play for Brazil. But beyond that, you can't imagine that he'd stay at Chelsea any longer. Chelsea will look for a succession plan for a new centre-back to replace him, come in. And to be honest, personally, I'm not sure he's going to be a nailed-on starter next season. I think he'll play enough elite-level football to ensure his place in the Brazil squad in the World Cup. But, how much football will that be? Well, probably just enough. Remember, again, he is Thiago Silva. Maybe he'll be used sparingly in the World Cup as well. So Yes, I think he'll start some games, but he'll be managed a lot more and rotated in and out, in my opinion. But let's have it right. Having Thiago Silva around the training ground for yet another season is excellent for the defenders and young players. So let's move on and talk about big Tommy Tuchel, the gaffer. That's right, Chelsea have given him a 2-year contract. Which is, Chelsea don't give long contracts anymore to managers. That's just how it is. Some have reported, and I don't know if this is speculation, that he actually, by winning the Champions League, there was a clause triggered where he was allowed a 2-year contract extension. Obviously, after winning in Porto, he met Roman Abramovich on the pitch. He met him the following morning. They had loads of discussions between the two, and I think they're very much on the same page in terms of projects now. Although it's a short-term contract, like he only got 18 months originally, and now he's being only rewarded with a 2-year deal. So technically, I think it's actually only a 1-year extension, but due to it being a new contract, you would imagine he's getting a lot more money. And who knows, maybe within his role he has a little bit more freedoms, although I'm not sure he's totally concerned about that. I think as long as he's being backed, he's happy to just coach. Now also, there is some speculation and theorising that this could be one of those 2-year contracts plus one. So if he does well by the end of the contract, Chelsea can trigger an extra year, and ultimately it becomes a 3-year deal. Like how they've done on so many of their footballers, their players, they have this extra year clause at the end. It's really common around football. So maybe Thomas Tuchel, I don't know, in an ideal world, wins the Premier League next season, but the following season finishes 4th and the League Cup maybe. So by then they're thinking, ooh, we don't want to give him a new deal because it might be dropping off slightly, but he's still doing well enough for us to trigger the 3rd year to go into that. You know, because maybe if they thought a new deal, it would be more money or a longer commitment to a project that they think might go stale. And remember, it's really important to remember that no matter how happy Chelsea are with a manager, they still work by the same model. The, changing works well, and not in a cynical way or a negative way, just like rotating things, bringing fresh minds in, and that includes the manager. And it's a model that made them the most successful English team in the last 10-15 years. So they'll be sticking by that. But for the moment, this is really good news for Chelsea fans, Chelsea players, and Thomas Tuchel with his 2-year extension. Right, let's bring it back to strikers and talk about Olivier Giroud a little bit first, because originally people thought by Chelsea triggering this extra year that he might be utilised next season in response to Chelsea finding it difficult in the market to getting a striker. For certain reasons, it looks like all Kane, Haaland, and Lukaku could be all off, so they thought, sit tight, Kai Havertz, false 9, Tammy wants to go, so at least let's keep Giroud. That's what people are thinking. But it's likely Chelsea are just looking at a successful World Cup winning Champions League winner yet to end his prime, and they don't want to lose him on a free. So I'm going to cite an article for you now from Football.London giving you some information about the big Frenchman. Olivier Giroud has said that AC Milan is, quote, certainly an option, end quote, in response to a transfer plea from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. This is despite the Frenchman's stay at Chelsea being extended by a further 12 months. A decision that was made by the club back in April, revealed by Marina Granovskaia. Oh, so that's really interesting. Giroud has known for a while that Chelsea are going to extend his contract 12 months. It just never got out into the media. So that's interesting. He's playing and not playing, knowing he will theoretically be here another season maybe. Or who knows, maybe Chelsea have sat him down saying, look mate, we're gonna trigger this clause, but we'll sell you, and if a bid comes in and you want to go, we'll sell you. So maybe there's just that discussion. Quote, Olivier has been such a crucial part of so many big moments for this club, from his contribution to our FA Cup victory in 2018 to scoring 11 goals on the way to winning Europa League in 2019, Marina Granovskaia said. He continued to score significant goals and will never forget his effort against Atletico Madrid on the way to winning the Champions League this season. Don't forget those 4 goals against Sevilla. With so much still to play for, there was only one decision we could make when we exercised his option to extend his contract back in April. However, there's still a chance Giroud could leave Chelsea this summer. By activating the clause on his deal, the club avoided the risk of losing him on a free this summer and could now sell him for a fee that could help raise funds to boost Thomas Tuchel's transfer budget. Interestingly, a move for AC Milan has been touted in recent weeks, and Ibrahimovic has already delivered his verdict on the potential deal. AC Milan's interesting as well. Chelsea already have a relationship with Milan due to the whole Fikayo Tomori loan, and now it's a permanent transfer. It's pretty much confirmed now. So the relationship is already there. Quote, "The more high-level players we can sign, the better," he told Gazzetta dello Sport prior to the contract announcement. "Olivier Giroud has great experience and we don't have that many players who have won trophies. If he comes, he is welcome. Also because this is a very helpful group, willing to learn and improve, a well-guided group." Zlatan Ibrahimovic wants Olivier Giroud. The young buck Olivier Giroud. Zlatan's going to be 40 years old next season, and he's playing for Milan. That is insane, by the way. Well, Ibrahimovic might just get his wish, as just hours after the contract announcement, Giroud hinted where his next move might be if he eventually leaves Chelsea. Quote, "Ibrahimovic wants me at AC Milan? It's always a pleasure to hear Zlatan say these kind of things. I'll take it as extra motivation. My future, I don't want to talk about it. Milan is certainly an option among others." Interesting. I think Milan might be good because Chelsea could continue to nurture a good relationship with AC Milan with the sale of Olivier Giroud. Keep them happy. But Giroud must be wanted by clubs around Europe. Surely he's still so useful. Maybe Real Madrid won't be coming in for him, but decent mid top level European teams I think will absolutely see value in Olivier Giroud. And the truth is, he doesn't really have injury problems. Sure, he's not really fast, but he'll probably always be keen to play, and that's massive. So what does this mean? Chelsea could get £10 million for Olivier Giroud, pulling that figure out of the air. I think they, in that case, and Tammy probably will push for a move as well because he knows he's not going to play under Thomas Tuchel. We need a striker, and yes, something I've been saying, I sound like a broken record in recent days on Football Therapy. I, like many of you, do trust the ability of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, but they're super good at certain things, and I just wonder if we're still lacking. And I think, yes, lots of people don't want to sign a second-rate striker, but we're going to be low on strikers. We're literally going to have no orthodox striker. Especially if you consider Timo Werner, he's little man and big man, little man. He's not really an orthodox centre forward, certainly in the Premier League. Kai Havertz, he's the number 10/number 8. He's self-proclaimed. He just has been deployed down the middle by his recent clubs. And then that's it. We've got no centre forwards. So no matter how fluid this Thomas Tuchel system is, Chelsea are going to need a striker, even if it's a Danny Ings or something like that. Just my opinion, but we need at least one. Especially if Tuchel changes formation for the Cups or for certain opposition, where he will rely on a focal point, we will need a striker. So Chelsea will look for one, and I'll continue to update you here on Football Therapy. Make sure you have the bell notifications icon clicked so you can keep up to date with all the information. Alright, that's it for today guys, so thanks for hanging out, enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.